Well, hello everybody. My name's Louise Savage and an extremely warm welcome to my channel, Louise Savage Muses, especially if you are a returning viewer, or equally warm if you are viewing my channel for the very first time. So my lovely son, Simon Savage, has suggested to me that we read the Booker Shortlist together this year. And we did this a couple of years ago, I think. But I was really up for this year because I think the shortlist looks gleaming. And I decided, actually it was his suggestion, let's be honest. He said, Mum, I really liked it when you made that video where you read the first lines of the first sentences, I should say. I'm thinking poetry for some reason. Where you read the first sentences of the Women's Prize for Fiction shortlist earlier on this year. And then you tried to predict whether it would link with the rank order that you came up with after you'd read them. And I thought, oh yeah, that would be, I did really enjoy doing that. So that's exactly what this video is going to be. I've got the wonderful shortlist here in front of me, or on my knee, snuggled, because I've managed to acquire all 6 books now. And I'm going to read the first sentence and then make some predictions about what I might think about the novel, or how that sentence affects me and whether it draws me in. So first up, and also maybe say a little bit about what I know about the novel already, which is probably not a lot. So I don't think I'll have a lot to say there. I'm going to put my beautiful spectacles on, but you can see I've got my ring light on today because it's very gloomy out there. So you might get this, I don't know why I'm doing this, it's making me giddy. You might get this very strange sort of, little reflection. I don't know whether that'll come out in the video, but I think it will. I need to stop doing that or I'm going to get seasick. So I've tried to put these into alphabetical order of author. And obviously the covers give things away as well, don't they? So this is Percival Everett's James, and I think, could be wrong, but I think the year that we read the shortlist before, I think The Trees by Percival Everett was shortlisted, and I'm pretty sure I picked it as my win because I absolutely loved it. So I'm very excited about this. And obviously, I've already read that one novel by Percival Everett. I've got Dr. No somewhere on my shelves, but I haven't read it yet. And what an amazing cover. Orange is one of my favourite colours, so that's a big win for me. And here, what I do know about this story is that it's based on, I think, Huckleberry Finn by Mark Twain. And I absolutely adore Mark Twain's writing. I don't know whether I've talked about him before on the channel, but I read Huckleberry Finn and Tom Sawyer to my younger children, my youngest son actually, not Simon, he's the oldest one, and just wonderful book to read aloud. And I just loved the characters and the hijinks and the period detail and Twain's amazing way with words and just take on things. So I am really interested in what Percival Everett has done with this, but that's not really what I'm here to talk about, because I am going to, it's got a map in it as well. Oh my goodness, I love a book with a map in. Anyway, I shouldn't really be letting that shape my view. Now, so this is quite a difficult, what is the actual first sentence? Because here you've got a notebook, the notebook of Daniel Decatur Emmett, and it's written in really wonderful sort of italic font so that it looks like an old manuscript. So I don't know whether I count that as the first sentence. I'm gonna discount it, partly because it's written in the form of a poem, I think, and it's also written in wonderful Deep South dialect. But I'm gonna skip that and actually go to the very first. It's a song, it's got a chorus and everything, but I'm actually going to skip to part 1 and have a look at how that starts. Oh wow. Now, apologies for the language. Those little bastards were hiding out there in the tall grass. That's the first sentence. And I just love the sense of irritation there, the anger. Yeah, I think that's really enjoyable. And the idea of somebody hiding out. And now, especially, I mean, maybe I shouldn't mention this, but because I've read Huckleberry Finn, that whole idea of whose perspective is this? Which character is it? Who is, I assume, viewing Huckleberry Finn and possibly Tom Sawyer in this way. So, yeah, I really like that. It's very direct. And it's just the use of those little bastards. Like, we should know who they are. Like, clearly the narrator knows who they are, and is really frustrated. And the fact they're hiding, but they're being seen. They're seen. So I actually want to sit and read that now. Definitely want to sit and read that now. Next up, I've got Orbital by Samantha Harvey. I read one of her books some years ago. I think it was called Wilderness, about an elderly man, and I think he got Alzheimer's, and I really enjoyed it. This one, I know, the only thing I know about this book is that it's set in space, and actually the cover makes that reasonably clear, I suppose. So what is the opening sentence? Oh, we've got orbit -1. Not sure what that means. Sounds spacey. Rotating about the Earth in their spacecraft, they are so together and so alone that even their thoughts, their internal mythologies, at times convene. Oh, that's really interesting. So I'm assuming they're in a spacecraft, so I'm assuming that's the astronaut's perspective. I think it's interesting that it's kind of like a plural perspective, their thoughts, their internal mythologies. And I like the idea of being together but being alone. I've always imagined in my mind that space might be quite a lonely place to be. So that seems to be being echoed here. But of course, if you're in a spacecraft with other people, you're going to have to work together. You're going to have to get on. You're going to have to. So there's got to be a togetherness. So actually, it seems really reflective as well. So yeah, I like the tone of that, and I'm intrigued as to where that's gonna go. Then we've got Creation Lake by Rachel Kushner, and I have to be honest, I haven't read anything by her. I don't know anything about Rachel Kushner at all. Again, I love the cover, I love the colour, and I really like this image of this woman. Is she relaxing? Has something happened to her? It's not really very clear at all. And if I go to the first sentence, oh, I don't know what I was expecting, but I wasn't expecting this. Neanderthals were prone to depression, he said. So, well, I love the word Neanderthal. I like the reference to sort of, prehistory or whatever, or the dawn of human history. I like the idea. Is this character suggesting that somebody's suffering from depression? It's interesting that it's all in capitals as well. I don't know whether that's something that goes on through the book in terms of. Oh yeah, it does. So that's a decision presumably of the publishing company. So I don't think there's necessarily any relevance to that in terms of the language. And I like the fact that he said, we don't know who he is. We don't know who he's talking to. I'm tempted to skim down the page, but I'm not going to. So yeah, I think that's quite intriguing as well. Why would somebody be saying that? Why would somebody be saying Neanderthals are prone to depression? Two of them have been very short first lines, haven't they, so far? And then next up, I've got Anne Michael's Held. Still got its buy one half price sticker on. And I read Fugitive Pieces when that came out many years ago, and I thought that was really what's the word? Just incredibly compelling and disturbing and fascinating. And here we've got the opening sentence. And I'm not surprised that it's written in fragments. I kind of think maybe I was expecting that she would do something. From my memory, her writing's very poetic, and so I thought she might be playing around with white space on the page. So she has, I think I need to read the first two sentences, and that seems unfair on the other writers, except that these two sentences are suspended in white space on the page, so I kind of feel that they fit together. We know life is finite. Why should we believe death lasts forever? Now immediately my brain's going, what does that mean? We know life is finite, yeah, I get that. Why should we believe death lasts forever? That is a question that I have never ever thought about. It's my mind is blown. I'm almost speechless. Why have I never thought about that before? Why should we believe death lasts forever? Because even if you believe in an afterlife, then you presumably that afterlife is eternal, or you are reincarnated, which is a kind of sort of, I suppose, eternal cycle. But if, like me, because I'm an atheist, believe that nothing, you die and there's nothing, that nothing is also kind of infinite, isn't it? Well, it's finite and infinite at the same time, because that nothing is going to exist till the end of time. So I'm already like, whoa, this is a book that is going to make me think. And I love books that make me question the world, make me, just make me ask questions that I've never thought about before. So, oh yeah. Oh, I'm itching now to start reading these. And then the next one is The Safekeep by Yael and Wouden. And again, I don't know anything about this writer. And let's just dive into I like the idea of it being a creepy, I don't know, is it creepy? It looks kind of creepy. There's a child. Well, is it a child? Is it a young? I think it's a child there in the distance. I like the way that you're sort of looking through into the scene. So that's whetting my appetite. Oh, look at the end pages there. Beautiful. Okay. Oh. Isabel found a broken piece of ceramic under the roots of a dead gourd. I'm not even sure where we are. Actually, I probably should be, because I think it said, the Netherlands, 1961. So, a broken piece of ceramic under the roots of a dead gourd. So immediately the character's named. I'm assuming, maybe wrongly, that Isabel's going to be at the centre of the novel. That ceramic, it suggests to me, might have some significance, especially because I've just seen that, those Dutch tiles at the beginning. And it's the fact that it's under the roots of a dead gourd, as if has it been buried? Has it been accidentally smashed and dropped? And I'm immediately thinking that this is a novel that's going to dive into some sort of history or some sort of saga, to really, really get immersed in. So it's not a massive kind of grabby sort of first sentence, but there's quite a bit of detail in there. The gourd and the ceramic and the roots. It's quite visual, isn't it? And tactile. I can sort of feel myself rooting around in the soil. I'm a very keen gardener, so I'm often finding bits of ceramics. I can really relate to that as an experience. And then finally, got Charlotte Wood's Stoneyard Devotional, which I've been being nagged to read by Simon. He's been nagging me for ages, but I've been wanting to find the right moment, because I've read a couple of Charlotte Wood's novels and absolutely loved them. I'm not sure. I think I've read all of them. I've read two. So I've read The Natural Way of Things, and I've read The Weekend. There may be others, I'm not sure. Oh, again, now, day one. Arrive finally at about 3. That's so ordinary, isn't it? That tells me nothing. That tells me absolutely nothing. So it's really difficult to comment on, except that it sounds like a diary entry because there's no subject of the sentence. Arrived finally at about 3. It's very casual, isn't it? So I think this is going to be very much inside somebody's head. It's the first person narration and it's going to be inside their head, but I don't know any more than that. I just love that cover. I love the bashed up door. I used to live in a house, I think it's 1920s, isn't it? I used to live in a house that had doors like that many years ago when Simon was young. Well, that's really interesting because I've been massively looking forward to this, but I think of all of the opening lines, that one probably gives the least away. Let me go back. I loved the Percival Everett opening line. I'm trying to rank order them and talk at the same time. I really like the Michael's line because it got me questioning. It was sort of philosophical. It got me thinking about things. The Creation Lake line has gone out of my head already. Oh yeah, the one about Neanderthals. See, I liked that as well. Why did that disappear out my head? The idea of Neanderthals being prone to depression, that hooked me. The Samantha Harvey one, again, it was philosophical, but I don't know if it gave me a gut punch in the way that I might want it to. Oh, isn't this hard? This is quite hard. I don't think these first lines are giving an awful lot away, which is surprising and not surprising, because actually, you know, in schools we teach children to, you know, try and open a story with a hook or, you know, some information about a character or something about setting. But actually that's, you know, like a lot of things we teach, it's very simplistic, and there's nothing wrong with an opening being very ordinary and very, you know, you're just a gradual sort of pulling into the character or the narrative or whatever, or the situation. So oh, I did like Isabel and the ceramic and the gourd. Oh, I'm just actually, do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do it on the basis of which one would I want to read next, on the basis of those opening lines. And I think I'm there. So I think, actually, to my surprise, this one, in terms of getting the story started and how I feel about it just from that one line, would be number 6, the Charlotte Wood. Then probably Orbital by Samantha Harvey. Then, even though it references Neanderthals. Oh, and Creation Lake, of course, Neanderthal creation. A bit slow. I'm going to put that at number 4. And then the Safekeep, I'm going to put at number 3. And Held at number 2, because I think that's going to make my brain ache in a good way. And James, I don't know. I don't know whether I'm biased because I love Huckleberry Finn so much. And I want to get back to him and Tom. That's not fair, is it? But I did like the idea of those bastards at the beginning. So yeah, I'm going to hold it up, my ranking. At the moment, based on almost nothing, based on very flimsy evidence, very little to go on, that is what I think might happen after I read these books. Well, that's really nonsense, isn't it? So I hope you found that remotely interesting. I'm not sure that I'm any the wiser myself. But there we are. It's good because it's whet my appetite, and it might dictate. I know Simon over his channel has already put a video out explaining much better than I have, much more eloquently, what we're intending to do. And I think he's also supplied you lovely people with dates of which books we're going to read when. I know the first one, yeah, I can't dictate. Well, I can dictate the order in which I read these because I can probably make 2 responses in a week, so I can actually read them in any order I like. I think probably, but I think next week's novel that we will be responding to and vlogging about is Held by Anne Michaels. I'm pretty sure. I hope I haven't got that wrong. I really apologise if I have. Sorry, Simon, if I have. But I think the first one that we'll be getting our teeth into is Held by Anne Michaels. So I hope you're going to join our little project if you can get hold of the books, or you can listen to them obviously on Audible. I shouldn't have said that, should I? You can. That's because that's the platform that I tend to listen to my books on. But yeah, obviously you can listen to them on any other platforms for what's the word? Audiobooks are clearly available. I'm not being paid by them, sadly. So yeah, I do hope that you can read or listen along, and as ever, I'd love to see your comments below. But please, 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 no spoilers, because as you can see, I don't know very much about these books at all, so I'm coming to them fresh, and I wouldn't want my perception to be spoilt. Take care, everybody. Happy reading. Thoughts below, please.